This one is going to be a live Q&A dedicated to a tricky and I think fascinating subject, which is the balance between art and business in the field of Egyptian dance. This is a subject that most of us don't like to talk about, we don't like to think about, and we certainly don't like to deal with, okay? But it's still the reality of professional dancers in this field, and I felt it was time to bring the subject to the public arena in a very straightforward and honest manner, okay? So in this live Q&A, I'm going to read questions that I have received from mostly dancers who are already professional Oriental dancers or who want to be professional dancers. And these may be the questions you also have in your mind if you are a lover of Egyptian dance and if you are considering working on it at a professional level, okay? Before I read the questions and before I answer them, and I will have to be very brief this time because this will be a short Q&A, let me do the proper presentation. My name is Joana Saahirah. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, and author, and I'm also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. Now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to invite you to join our newsletter, Joana Saahirah's World newsletter, if you are interested in authentic Egyptian dance, personal discovery, and empowerment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link somewhere in the comments to this video. And without further ado, let's dive into the combination of art and business in Egyptian dance. I'm going to start to read from my questions. Cheers, everyone. And if you are watching, feel welcome to share your questions live while I am live, okay? Drop your questions and comments in the comments area below this video, okay? Now, first question, let's go. Is Egyptian dance a business or an art form? I love this question because it brings the subject from the base, from the beginning, and it is a doubt that can ruin your experience as a dancer and your experience as a professional. So my opinion is that Egyptian dance is an art form to start with, okay? And independently of the way you're gonna use it as an amateur dancer or as a professional dancer, you cannot forget you are dealing with an art form. When you do, problems start to show up, especially if you are a professional. So what I usually see is a distinction between art and business. I'm either an artist and I don't think about business, or I'm a businesswoman and I'm not very fond or not very focused on my artistic vision. I think this is a big mistake. I am an artist who is forced to deal with business. I don't like business. I don't like numbers. I don't like the promotion part. I don't like all of that, like most artists don't. But if I am a professional dancer and I've been in this field for more than 20 years, I've never done anything else in my life. So I work full time for almost 25 years, first in Egypt and around the world and online. I've always lived from my work, so I come from a place of knowing exactly what I'm talking about. And although I do not like business, I am forced to deal with it. I am forced to learn about it. I am forced to warm up to it, even if I don't love it so much, okay? Now, having a focus on business is mandatory if you are a professional dancer who lives from her or his work. But I cannot forget where I come from, and I cannot forget where the dance is coming from. And that is an art form. So when I start to work only for the business, only for financial gain, only for fame, only for attention, and I forget why I fell in love with this dance and what this dance is bringing to the world, which is art, I start to go down, at least in terms of quality, okay? And if you want longevity in your work as a professional dancer, you need quality, okay? There are trends, there are fashions, dancers come and go. Sometimes this dancer is at the top, because the environment decided that's the star right now, and then comes another one, and then comes another one. People come and go. In these 25 years, I've seen a lot of people coming and going, coming, being the queen, being the king, and disappearing. Okay, that happens in Egypt, and that happens around the world in the international market. The few that remain, and the few that remain strong, with something to say and something to do and content that interests people, are the ones who have not forgotten that Egyptian dance is an art form, are the ones who dealt with the business side of it without forgetting where their passion is coming from. So, although Egyptian dance is an art form, it can also be a business. If you are a professional dancer who lives from her or his work, or if you wish to become one, okay? It is something that you cannot escape. And the faster you combine the art with the business side, the faster you will turn your vision of a profession in this field a reality. Okay? So, what else do we have here? How much should I charge for my dance? This is a question that I've been asked so many times. How much does your work cost? How much should I charge? How do I charge for a show? How much do I charge for a class or workshop? And unlike many other dancers I know, I think this is a personal question with a personal answer, because there is no Oriental dancer alike. Not all of us bring the same value to the table as performers and teachers. Not all of us have the same knowledge, experience, insight, curriculum. It is widely varied. So every dancer should evaluate how much they deliver in their work and how much they should be paid for it, and then be smart and sensible about it. So I never mention numbers because there are no specific numbers to be mentioned. When people ask me how much do I charge, I only answer when it's someone that is going to hire me, obviously, because I don't go into gossip, okay? But if you want to have a notion of how much to charge, I would start with the question, how much value will I deliver? Okay? Because what you charge has to do with the value. How much value do I deliver in a performance? How much value do I deliver in a workshop, in a private class, in a course? How much value do I deliver in a lecture? Right? And aside from the value you deliver, think about if what you deliver is unique or if others are doing exactly the same. Because if your work is unique, you can charge more. If your work is unique, if your work is valuable, and if it changes people's lives in some way, shape, or form, if it transforms people, if it adds value to people, then you can rethink how much you charge. Now, charging for charging does not make sense and it will not happen. Okay, so you always have to be ready to justify, why am I charging this value? Why? If someone asks you, why are you charging this? This is a question I often share with my students, especially in my private coaching where I have a lot of professional dancers. I ask them, imagine you are in a meeting with a potential client, someone who is going to hire you for a show or for a theater presentation or for a workshop or for whatever. And they ask you, how much do you charge? You tell them a value, and then you have to justify that value. They will ask you, why do you charge that? Justify that value. Having a prompt answer to that question is essential. If you don't know why you charge that, if you don't know what you bring to the table, the value, the power of it, the uniqueness, you cannot justify what you charge for your work. So it is all going down to, who am I? What am I delivering? What is the value of what I deliver? How unique is what I deliver? Because if nobody else is doing what I do, my work is more valuable. If I'm doing what everybody else does, and even worse, if I'm copying what others are doing, the value of my work decreases. So wonder, what am I delivering? What is the value? Is it unique, or is it the same like everybody else? And how does it change people's lives? How does it impact people's lives? And according to these three questions, you can make a very fair estimate of how much to charge. And moreover, you can justify it to potential clients. Okay, so it's very important to have this in consideration, and none of it is in contradiction with the art. Okay, none of it is in contradiction with art. Very often artists do not value themselves, they don't know their value, so they work for free. They work for the sake of exposition, or because they want to be seen. They work in bad conditions, they work not being respected because they want to do something, they want to be shown, they want to show the world they are doing something. I totally disagree with this. I have said yes to a lot of amazing work, and I've worked with amazing people, and I've also said no to a lot of people. Okay. Because I was either not gonna be paid, which for me is offensive, after everything I have built, after everything I have under my belt. It's simply ridiculous. Or I was not being paid in a fair way, or I was not being respected, and I say no. Okay, so this will give you the fame of being difficult. I would rather be difficult and be respected and be hired by the right people, okay, who know my worth and who know how to bring my work forth in a respectful and healthy and professional way, than going for yes, yes, yes everywhere and destroying my name and destroying my legacy and allowing myself to go down into a place of unself-worthiness, where I don't believe that I'm worthy more than this. Okay, it's so important to know your worth as an artist and to deliver the goodies. Okay, because if I say I am the best but then I don't deliver the best work, mm, it doesn't match. Okay, so your words and your belief patterns about yourself and how much you're worth and how much your work and your art are worth, they must match your actions, they must match what you deliver. Okay, so this is my answer, and I hope it's useful in some way, shape, or form. Okay. um Hi, Star. Hello. Hi. Okay, what else do I have here? How do I know when I'm ready to call myself a professional Oriental dancer? This is another question that I deal with every week, literally every week. Either people email me, they ask me for this, or certainly in my private coaching, it all goes down to, am I ready? Right? And this is a tricky question because then again, everybody will be different. Although it is true that we have to start before we are fully ready, because we never feel fully ready. Okay, it is also true that you need to be educated and to have the preparation to deliver a good work. So I do not like to answer this question unless I know what dancer I have in front of me and unless I know this person very well. Okay, what I will tell you is evaluate how much preparation you have, how much education you have for the job you want to make. May that be teaching or performing. Have you been educated enough to do that job? Because sometimes there is also a confusion between talent, resourcefulness, and being ready. Those are different things. Okay, I may be talented, I may be resourceful, I may be smart, I may have a good business instinct, and I may not be ready, I may not be prepared. Being an Oriental dancer on a professional level requires many things. Talent is just one of them. Okay, and talent is not enough. So you need the education, you need the preparation, you need the structure. You need to know, what am I going to do on this stage? Why am I there? What am I going to deliver? Or what am I going to do in this workshop, this course, this class? Why people should hire me? Why should they pay for this service? Why? And you have to be painfully honest with yourself. Okay? It's not about the ego. It's not about, I'm in the mood for this and I got to do it for myself. When you become a professional, it's about yourself and it's about other people. It's not only about yourself. Okay, it's about you wanting to do that for your own satisfaction, for your own self-expression, putting out that talent that you believe you have in the world and making something about it. But at the same time, it's about the people you're going to serve. Okay. And this is something that I often work with professional dancers who are with me. It's the question of balancing your ego with service, right? Because so many artists, even well known artists, they confuse the ego with service. They think that ego is enough. If I'm an artist, I'm going to do whatever I want and I don't care about my students. I don't care about my audience. I'm just going to drop a great choreography on their laps and they're going to adore me for it. Although this may work for a while, if you are trendy, if you are in fashion, in the long run, it doesn't work. Because a professional dancer, performer, lecturer, author, teacher is someone who is creating from within, but also serving other people. So the connection between the I and the others or the we has to be there all the time. Prepare yourself, educate yourself, know why you want to do this, and never forget that you are here to serve people, not only your wish and your ambition. You are here to serve people and to serve your art. Okay? What else? And once again, guys, drop by and share your questions if you have some, okay? I promise to answer them if I can. Cool? Okay, so what else? Is it possible to live exclusively from my work in Egyptian dance? And how do I do that? This is a very big question. That would require an entire course. Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep it simple and to give you a few tips, but I'm not gonna be able to fully answer this question in this live Q&A. Okay, but hopefully I'm gonna give you some directions that may be useful for you. Okay, so first of all, is it possible to live exclusively from the work in Egyptian dance? Obviously, my answer is yes, because I've been doing it, right? And I'm not the only one, I think. I never asked my colleagues, do you do anything else aside from Egyptian dance? Or I don't really take notice of that. I could, but I don't because I'm too busy with my own stuff, my own life. But I can talk for myself, right? So I've never done anything else. Since I started working, I never stopped. It kept growing and growing and growing and expanding and transforming and expanding. And I never worked on anything else. I never had a side hustle or a second job. This is my full job year after year for almost 25 years. So obviously the answer is yes, it is possible. It is easy? No. It is for everyone? Definitely no. But that's another question. Okay. Now, how do I do that? This is the question that would require an entire course. So I'm going to give you some directions and let's see if they're going to be helpful. I hope so. Okay. So, how do I do that? First of all, you have to be very clear on who you are and what do you stand for in this field. A lot of dances will be about the business. They want to make money. A lot of dances will be about the fame. They want applause, they want attention, they want their names, they are ambitious for their name. Another dancers do it because they truly love the dance and they cannot do anything else in terms of not wanting to do anything else. It's not that they can't. I could be doing many other things with my life. I chose to do this because I love it so much. It's in my blood. Okay, so the reason why you're in it will define a lot of the longevity of your career and the longevity and the impact your work will have on people. Okay, and I'm not speaking about working for a few years. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40 years of career. Okay, more. Mahmoud Reda had a longer career than that. So why are you doing this, right? What is the motivation behind your professional ambitions? That is very important. Another thing that will help you to materialize living fully off and for Egyptian dance is to combine a strong artistic education with business, promotional, sales skills. Even if you think that's not your job, sooner or later that will be your job, like it or not. Okay. And this was a hard lesson that I learned because I was the old school. I'm an artist. Don't tell me about money. Don't tell me about business. Don't tell me about marketing. And the truth is, for a long time, I did not have to sell myself or sell my work or promote my work because my structure, the professional structure I was working with, did not require it. For almost 10 years, I was performing in Egypt, as most of you may well know. That meant I was performing every day at the same spot. People knew me. It is a very small market. Musicians knew me. People will hire me directly. They hired me for weddings, for special events. Aside from my daily shows, I had no time or need to promote myself. This was before the era of the internet, so I did not spend much time recording or promoting. First, because I was too busy. Second, because that was not my goal. My goal was not to promote myself or to let people around the world know that I was in Cairo performing. My goal was to perform, was to do it and do it at the highest level and learn from it, learn from the experience, learn from the musicians, learn from the audience, learn from the environment, learn the language, learn the mentality, really go as deep as possible into my craft. So I did not worry about promoting myself and I did not need it, right? Once the work starts to transform, and I start to work around the world, the promoters of the festivals, they do the promotion. I also share the news, but they do the promotions. So then again, I could focus on art and I could focus on what am I going to perform? What am I going to teach? What am I going to write about? Right? But once I opened my school, once I created my brand, Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, a brand that is growing week by week organically, I had to learn at least the basics of technology, sales, promotion, marketing, business, numbers. Now, do I like it? I don't like it, but I have to. Okay. So, another thing that you have to know in order to make this happen professionally is that although you may love what you do, you're not going to love everything that you do. Okay. Being a professional means you're going to deal with a lot of things that you do not like to do in order to do what you like to do. All right. So, dealing with financial issues, for instance, I hate it, but I have to do it in order to do what I love to do. Dealing with marketing, I don't like it, but I have to do it in order to do what I like to do. You see where I'm going, right? So it's all about knowing why you want to do it and then learning the skills, artistic and business skills, that will allow you to do this consistently on a professional level. It is also important to know your environment and what is possible to do in your environment, and if you can create new markets in your environment. Very often, dancers from different countries tell me, Joana, but in my country, I don't have musicians, or in my country, I don't have dance schools, or in my country, I don't have whatever. Okay. So they focus on the resources they do not have instead of focusing on the resources they do have. So I always ask them, okay, in your country, you don't have this and that and that. What do you have? What do you have in your country? Do you have people? Do you have a salon or do you have theaters? What conditions can you create within the conditions that you have? And what is your project? Because for some of us, the project is to open a school. For some of us, the project is to travel the world and teach around the world. For some of us, the project is like me, starting my career in Egypt and then teaching and performing and spreading my wings in international environments. It all looks different for different dancers. So knowing where you want to go and creating the conditions within the conditions that you have. If you do not want to leave your country, do not ask what you do not have. Ask what you do have. What do I have in my country that will allow me perhaps to create new markets? Okay. I often give this example. When I started Egyptian dance in Portugal, and most of the dancers who are working now in Portugal in Egyptian dance, they were my students. They started because I started. There was no market in Egyptian dance in Portugal. And I mean, no market. There were no schools for Egyptian dance. There was no market for Egyptian dance performances. There was zero, nothing. And people told me, you are nuts. You're never going to succeed at this. I told them, look, you can look at this from two perspectives, okay? You can look at it like it doesn't exist, so nobody's gonna do it, or it doesn't exist, so somebody can create it. Is it a lot of work? Damn sure it is. Does it require a lot of guts and delivering the goodies and persistence and so many other things? Yes. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So look at the conditions you have in your particular country or in the country you want to move in, if you're thinking about moving, and think, what can I do here with the conditions that I have, and how can I create new markets where there were none? And be willing to wrap up your sleeves and to work like a horse. Okay? Because this is another thing that usually nobody tells you. Oh, if you love what you do, you will be successful. Follow your bliss and every door will be open. This is so much bullshit. This is absolute crap. It's not true. You can follow your bliss and find a lot of obstacles, and not every door will be opened. Okay. And even if you do what you love, you're still going to have to sacrifice. You're still going to have to work a lot. You're still going to have to challenge yourself and deal with things that you don't necessarily like business, like numbers, like promotion. Okay. So think about these points that I've just shared, and at the bottom of it, ask if you're truly passionate about this, because if you're not, you're not going to go for the long run. Again, I've seen people coming and going all the time. Okay. They're up, they're down, they disappear. Okay. If you want to do this for real, professionally, you have to love it. You have to put it at the podium, if not in first place in your love scale, very close to the first place. Otherwise, you won't make the cut. So I hope that helps. Let me read what else I have here. And once again, I'm going to invite you, if you're watching live, feel welcome to drop your question or questions, or let me know how you have been doing. I can see we have a few comments here. Hi, Mango. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Mango says this is the situation in Malta where I am at the moment. The dance scene is very small and shows are almost non-existent. But yes, it's a challenge and can be both hard work and also very exciting. Okay, so let's grab the example of Mango. Okay, small market or no market, right? You either are going to look at it and think, okay, there is no market for this, so I'm going to drop it. Okay. Or you can think like an entrepreneur, which is a word that is very much in fashion nowadays. And I think it has to do with character. You either have this mindset or not. You can develop it, okay? But it is a mindset. It is a character trait, okay? Think like an entrepreneur. There is no market for this yet, but I can create it. How can I create it? I create the format that is valuable. Okay, let me go back to value. If you're just doing it because you love it and you think you're entitled enough for the world to love it and pay for it just because you love it, you're delusional and you're losing your time. You have to be able to say, this is the value I'm delivering. And because I'm delivering this value, I can sell it. You can only sell what you believe in. And you can only sell something that is valuable. Okay? So focus on the value that you are going to deliver and ask yourself, where, how, and to whom can I sell this? And then you have to pitch, right? I remember that when I started in Portugal, there was nothing, right? I mean, desert, nothing. So what did I do? I created a demo. I created a dance presentation, a curriculum, a demo. I created like a presentation of the value that I could deliver. And I went door by door selling it to wedding agencies, event organizers, managers who worked with artists. I did not expect them to come to me. I went to them and I told them this does not exist yet, but it's going to exist from the moment we put it into the market. And the value of this is 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to be proactive. And you have to know in that proactivity what is the value that you are delivering so that you can pitch it to other people. And most importantly, so that after you do the first show, the first workshop, the first service, the first whatever, people ask you for more. Because if you know how to pitch something, if you know how to sell your first show, but your first show sucks, guess what? That's the first and last show you will ever gonna make. And that does not make a career. Okay? So it is important to be proactive. It is important to know the value of what you are offering. It is also very important to think, will they hire me again? And why would they hire me? And if you don't know the answer to that question, you got work to do. Okay. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And I hope I was clear enough. Guys, sometimes I get too excited. Because these are subjects that are very close to my heart. These are subjects that I've lived, that I live every day. So they're very passionate matter for me. Hi, Star. Hi, how are you? Star is saying, absolutely, you need to love this dance from your very core. Yes, without that love, you will not hold the vision and the mission and the job for a long time. You won't. I assure you. Okay, test it if you want. I have been teaching since 2000, and the one thing that has kept me teaching and performing through every hard knock has been my love for the dance and for sharing it with others. Beautiful, Star, beautiful. So if you want to take it a notch up, aside from the love, think in terms of what do I bring to my people? What is the value that I bring to my people? Aside from my love from the dance, my love for the job, okay? How do I contribute to the life of my audience when they watch me perform? How do I contribute to the life quality of my students when I have students? What do they take from my work? Aside from the love I have for it, okay? So bring it a notch up, huh? Okay. Is it correct to think about money when you're managing your dance career? Money is a big subject, right? And we've been often indoctrinated to believe that if an artist thinks about money, it's shameful, it's selfish, it's cheap. She or he is not a real artist. But this is, once again, totally delusional, because if artists live from their art, they have to sell it. And if they have to sell it, they have to think about money. Unless you want to die young, then you don't have to think about money. Or unless you are rich, so you have another sources of income, you don't need to make money out of your art. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Okay. Or unless you are willing to do it as a side hustle and put most of your time, energy, and focus on a main career that brings the financial resources, and you do the dance just for the fun of it. But then it's very close to a hobby. It's not a full profession. And because it's not a full profession and you don't live exclusively from it, you're not going to give it your best. And I know this hurts a lot of people. When I say this, people get very annoyed with me, but it is true. I'm sorry. At least this is my experience and my perspective. Okay. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I always like to know about different experiences, but from my vision and what I have observed, dancers who do dance as a side job, like a hobby, they do not have the time, the energy, the resources, the demand, the expectations, the pressure to really go deep into it, because they have their time, focus, and energy applied on something else that brings the financial resources they need to survive. Obviously, they're not going to give it their best. They're not going to give it their full time, full attention, full heart, full focus. They can't, because their financial resources to pay the rent, to pay the food, to live in this world as a human being, they're coming from elsewhere. So they're going to put their mind where their bread is earned. Okay? This is my experience. Once again, if you have a different experience, share it, please, in the comments to this video. I always like to know if other dancers have different perspectives on things, okay? I may not agree with you, you may not agree with me, but we learn from each other, we listen to each other, and we consider, maybe there is a different way of seeing this subject, okay? So if you have a different experience, let me know in the comments. What else? Not only it is correct to think about money, but it is absolutely necessary. Now, once again, I do not put money or the business side of it in front of art. And this is why I have done a lot, especially in my school, that I knew would not be a financial success, but that would be an artistic success. And that would be something that would change the dance and the life of the students who were with me in it. This is why when I create something, I create it first from an artistic impulse, an artistic vision, from the willingness to contribute to my dance field and to my community. And then I think, okay, will this be profitable? Because I have to pay for my time, I have to pay for my knowledge, for my work, for the electricity I am using, for everything, right? The work does not fall from the sky. You know, it's my time, it's my resources, it's my life. It has to be paid for, right? But I balance things out. I do believe there are things we do that compensate financially and things we do that we can afford not to do for financial reasons or not to do with a profitable goal in our head. Okay, combining a little bit of two, right? And seeing, okay, can I do something that is artistically fulfilling, but I know it's not going to sell well, it's not going to be financially successful? Can I offer myself that luxury now? And if you can, do it. I have done it many times and I'm totally in peace with it. And in other times, I know there are shows, there are courses, there are workshops, there are formats that are going to sell more. And I also love them, okay? And I'm totally fine with being artistically and financially successful, okay? It's all about balance and offering yourself certain luxuries, you know? Pretty much like writing. You know, as you also know, I'm an author. I'm not only a dancer and a teacher, I'm also an author. And I have to buy my time for writing because writing does not pay. Okay, it does not pay enough. It does not pay as a work, right? At least not to me, not in my situation. So I always have to think about buying my time for writing. When can I afford to write? For how long? And I have to balance things out because I cannot just write, use my time and resources for free, and not work on my main profession that pays the bills. So it's a fine balance between not compromising your artistic vision and also making things that you know are going to serve the art, serve the people who believe in you and in your services, in your products, and also doing things that are financially successful and things that are not necessarily financially successful, but that are going to make an impact. And that impact brings more people. And those people who will benefit, who will feel they have received something of value from you, they will talk about you to other people. And this is how we grow organically. Okay, sometimes you don't even need to do paid publicity. I've never done paid publicity. Can you believe it? And I have a school for 3 years now, and I haven't done it yet. Okay, it's growing organically because I work my ass off. Not only because of the value I deliver, but because I work my ass off to serve my people, to serve the ones who believe in my brand, who believe in the content that I share, who believe in my work. You have to be appreciative of the ones who are already with you. Also, very often what happens is that people want more. They want more followers, they want more likes, they want more people, they want numbers, they want, and they forget to serve the ones who are already with them. They forget to serve the audience they have in front of them. They forget to serve that group of students who is already with them. I don't do that mistake. I put most of my time and effort in the people who are already with me. I put my time and effort in the people that have already invested in Joana Saahirah's world, in my name, in my brand, in my content, because those are the ones I should appreciate the most. And those are the ones I can serve right now. Okay? Upgrades, growing, expanding, it happens in its own time and it has its own set of tools. But don't forget to offer your best to the ones who are already with you, because those are the people who earn and deserve your biggest respect. It doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter how professional you are, if you don't have people appreciating and buying what you do, hiring you for shows, hiring you for festivals or for workshops or for courses or whatever the format you're using, you cannot call yourself a professional. So we owe respect, appreciation, and responsibility towards the ones who are already with us, the ones who already believe in us. Okay? Oh my God. Let me see, guys, what you are sharing here. It's pretty hot in my side of the world. We don't have spring, we have summer right ahead. Huh? Mm. Oh, Jamila. Hello, Jihan. So nice to see you here, guys. Let me read what you are sharing. Unless you have a patron, one has to think of money. Absolutely, Jamila. There is no other way around it. Okay. And I hate it when people say otherwise. Because it fills dancers' heads with illusion. I don't like illusion. I like positive mindset, but positive mindset is not the same as illusion, okay? I have to be positive, but I cannot have a head full of illusions. Unless you have a patron or unless you are rich, you have to think about business and money. Absolutely. We don't like it. I don't like it, but we have to, okay? And the faster we get to it, the better. Uh, good intentions don't buy groceries. Absolutely. That's real life. I supplemented my dance funds by teaching college in the sciences. I often use the dance as my community service required by professors. Beautiful, beautiful. Jihan says, people who live on passive income practice and hone their dance skills more than professionals. That's why it's important to pursue education in financial management as a lifelong passion in order to achieve financial independence, which will allow us to do what we're passionate about. Okay. Jihan, I understand what you're saying. I do not agree fully with you, because I do think that when you have to live off a craft, you really go deeper into it in a way that you will not if you don't pay your bills off that craft. This is absolutely a fact for me. So I will disagree with you, but of course I respect your perspective, you know. And I do agree, all of us could and probably should develop financial education management, right? We should. But independently of that, and independently of how well you manage passive income, for the ones who can create passive income, and by the way, passive income usually already comes from a privileged background. Okay, you don't have a lot of people who start from zero with passive income. It's not a lot. Usually, in order to have passive income sources, you already come from a privileged background, even if you're not aware of it. Okay, you may not be aware of it, but you are. When you build your life from zero, from scratch, passive income is not your first priority. First is active income. And then you can eventually create passive income. Independently of that, when you work in Egyptian dance and that's your main source of income, that's where you pay your bills with, the level of expectations, demands, responsibility, urgency is completely different from someone who does not depend on it to pay the bills. Very different. And it's a sense of urgency and expectation and standards and demands that really push for a professional level in a way that I do not see happening otherwise. But once again, this is my experience. Thank you for sharing yours. Okay, Jihan, thank you for sharing. Jamila says, currently I am in quandary I don't know what quandary means. Sorry, guys. I want to teach authentic Egyptian dance. I see tribal fusion, Dracula, Comic Con dances getting students, but refuse to sell out to the current milieu. Yeah. So, Jamila, what you're talking about, it's the trendy stuff that sells, right? It's the trends. I've been away from the trends for a long time, not because I want to be unpleasant or not because I want to swim against the tide, but because I can only do what I believe in, right? So if I moved to Egypt first as a student and then as a professional dancer, and if I sacrificed so much of my life, professional and personal, to get to know this craft from the inside out, Egyptian, Oriental, and Folkloric dance, this is what I know better than anything else in my life, okay? If I sacrificed so much to get to know it from the core and to be the best at it, I will not sell myself for the trends, you know? And I do believe there is a market for authentic Egyptian dance. There is a market for things that are not trendy. There are niches for Egyptian dance that are not necessarily the things that people think is trendy or cool. Another thing I would like to share with you guys is that trends do not necessarily equal good business. What do I mean by this? Sometimes, and in today's society where we are so much attached to social media, followers, likes, I think people confuse the quantity of likes and followers and interaction on social media with a successful business. They think it's equal. If I have a lot of followers on Instagram, it means I'm very successful in my business, in my dance business. No, not necessarily. You would be surprised how many dancers have a lot of followers, lots of likes, lots of engagement. They do not have a successful business. One thing does not equal the other. And the opposite also happens. You have dancers who are not trendy. They do not do what everybody does in order to get the followers and the likes, and they do have a pretty successful business, making an impact on the dance and the lives of a lot of people, and making a good living doing what they love and serving the dance and serving the community. So trends give you the idea that if you are trendy, if you are in fashion, then you are successful. That's not necessarily the truth. Okay. And we could also talk about burnout. We could talk about dancers working themselves into oblivion, taking chances and working for free and working without conditions and working in fields they don't believe in and going for all those trends, not believing in them and losing their energy, their stamina, their soul along the way and burning out and disappearing. Once again, I have seen it happening. I don't believe in long-term success if you're not doing something you believe in. So, although trends and fashions and followers and likes can give you the illusion of success, success is something else for me. It's real life, okay? It's having a real business, serving real people, interacting, engaging with real people, making a difference in the way they think, in the way they dance, in the way they live, transforming them, taking them along with you on this journey, making them a part of your extended family, and making a successful business combined with a soul that is satisfied, okay, and a community that is well served. Okay, so Jamila, trends and fashions and all of this social media circus, be wary of it, okay? Take it with a grain of salt and don't confuse it with success. Those are very different things, okay? Hi, Mohammed. Isaac. Jamila translates. Quandary is confusing problem. Thank you. I had never seen that word. Another word I learned today. Okay, quandary. I'm gonna write it down. Quandary, confusing problem. Okay. Star says yes. My classes are full every Wednesday. No trends, all authentic. Yes, or I won't go there. Exactly. Beautiful, guys. Well done. What else? The last question, okay, and I have to answer it quickly because I have to go. So if you have more questions, this is the moment when you share them in the comments because I will have to go, okay? What is the best advice you could give to someone who wants to start a career in Egyptian dance? What is the best advice I could give to someone who wants to start a career in Egyptian dance? Okay, let me take a sip of my water because this one is. And I don't think of the answers before the live Q&As, guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but I answer them directly. You know, I just write down the questions and I answer them honestly on the spot. I don't prepare. Okay, I don't script my answers, so I have to think. So the best advice, you know, it's hard to pick only one thing. But if I had to pick only one thing, it would be something that I usually develop with my students in private coaching. And we will develop it in my signature course because in Joana Saahirah's signature course, we have beginner's level, intermediate, advanced, and professional. So the first edition of this course, we're in advanced level now. Very soon, we're going to go into professional level, and I'm going to work on it in that level. And it is about knowing your why and how. So if you're watching, write this down: your why and your how. Your why and your how. So why do you want to do this? This is the first thing. And I know it sounds insignificant. And most of you will not take notice of this because you think, it's not that important. That's why. It's not that important. I love to dance. That's why. No. Loving dance is a huge part of it. It's where it started. But you can love dance and never become a professional. You don't need to be a professional and keep loving dance. You can love dance and be an amateur all your life, right? So your love for the dance is not an answer. Your love for the dance is there. Okay, we already know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. And it has to be there. But if you want to take it into a professional level, there must be another reason. Otherwise, there is no reason to become a professional, okay? Keep doing it as an amateur dancer like most of us do, right? Most dancers I know, they're not professionals. And they've been doing Egyptian dance for longer than I do, okay? You don't need to be a professional to be an Oriental dancer. A lot of the best Oriental dancers I know are not professionals, okay? But if you want to take it into a career, professional level, you have to ask why. What is the motivation? What is the motive for action? The reason behind your ambition? You have to be painfully honest with yourself. Without a strong why, you will not have a career. This is my experience and my perspective, okay? After you answer the question, why do I want to be a professional Oriental dancer? Why? You ask how. How? How do I want to do this? Because for everybody, it will look different, okay? And rest assured, when you wrap up your sleeves and when you start making things happen, things develop, okay? Sometimes what you envision is not necessarily what's going to happen. You start by performing or you start by teaching, and then it starts to bloom in unexpected directions. That's life happening, and it's beautiful. And you cannot plan ahead. You cannot prepare ahead, but you have to start somewhere, okay? And what usually happens is that dancers may even have a why, but they don't ask how. And they're not proactive in the answer to that question. They think somebody will invite me. Somebody will ask me for it. It will come. It will not. Most times, it will not come. Nobody will invite you. Okay? Sorry. Nobody will come knocking on your door and say, I heard you are a very talented Oriental dancer. I wonder if you could be hired to dance at. It's not going to happen, you know? Usually you have to chase it at first. You have to be proactive. How am I going to do it? How does that look like for me? Do I want to have a school? Do I want to work in the school of somebody else? Do I want to focus on performing? Do I want to focus on researching or perhaps writing about it, teaching about it to children, to seniors, to adults, professional dancers, amateur dancers in my country, in another country? Do I want to perform with live music? Do I have live music where I live? Do I want to go to a place where there is live music? Do I want to work in a theater? Do I want to collaborate with other people? There are so many ways of addressing the how. How does it look like for you right now? You have your why, you have your how. And when you have the why and the how, you can start making it happen step by step, learning from mistakes, learning from failure, whatever failure means. Okay, I'm not sure what failure means, but things that don't go according to plan. Okay, learning from those experiences, being humble and confident enough to keep going when nobody else cares and nobody else believes in you. You have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're going to go down. The first obstacle you're going to find, you're going to feel, okay, this is not for me. I'm not good enough. I'm not made for this. I'm not talented enough. I'm going to quit. We are too fast to quit. And we are too fast to forget that with confidence must come humbleness. Okay? Not every door will be open. Not every opportunity will be given. Not everything that you do is going to be successful from an exterior point of view. Okay? But if you make it meaningful, if you learn from it, if you build something from it, it is successful from a personal point of view, from an artistic point of view. So knowing your why with absolute clarity and making sure that why is strong. Strong why. It's like that fire, when you see me performing and when people see me, teaching, very often they say, Joana, you're so passionate. You know why I'm passionate? First of all, because I am a passionate person, but it's not only because of that. I'm passionate because I have a big why right here in my back. You don't see it, but I see it every day. I have a big why. I have a big reason why I'm doing this. And that big why is fire. Okay? Fire is energy. Fire is initiative. Fire is strength. Fire is courage. Fire is guts. Fire is talent. Fire is so many things. Without a strong why, there is no fire to sustain you and no fire to get you started. And without a strong how to get you started, your dream will remain a dream, which is a pity. Okay? So believe in your dream and be humble enough to fall, to rise up and do it again and learn from mistakes. Okay? And be confident enough to trust in your talent, in your vision, in your why, in the difference that you can make. Okay? Super important. Now, I'm going to see if you have shared any more questions with me, and I'm going to close this session inviting everybody to join our free and fabulous newsletter. If you are not a part of it yet, most of you are. If you are not, I'm going to share, as usual, the link to subscribe to our newsletter. And when you do, you have exclusive access to a lot of content and inspirations and gifts I only offer my inside community. Okay, so you're going to find that link either in the description box below this video or in the comments. Now, let me see what you have shared before I close this session. Jamila says, confidence and humbleness, time to cross-stitch a pillow. Yes, confidence and humbleness, always side by side. Very important, okay? I love you too, dear Mango. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh my God, I can't wait for the course to start. Yes, Mango is already in the waiting list for our second edition of our signature course. I'm also going to share the link for you to join the waiting list, okay? If you want to join the waiting list for the second edition of Joana Saahirah's signature course, Authentic Egyptian Dance and Self-Empowerment from the ABC to Professional Level, then follow that link that I'm going to share and you will be in the waiting list. You are going to be the first one to know about the second edition, okay? Hi, Dana. Dana says, I think it is excellent that someone earns money with Egyptian dance. May that be through the shows or through teaching. For me, the essential is the honesty, that you don't fool people, that you offer honestly what you have, what you know. I think it is beautiful to earn money with what you love. Absolutely, Dana. I would add one last time, it's important to do what you love, earn people with what you love, if that's your mission, if that's your wish, but serve people as well. Once again, I differentiate between doing what I love and serving, because I can do what I love without serving others. And I don't think a professional should go for only one thing. I'm doing what I love. Yes, that's part of it. But I always have to ask, what is my audience or audiences gaining from this? It's never only about me. When I write, when I choreograph, when I perform, when I teach, it's never only about me. Okay. But it's my weird, unique perspective. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. I love to share these live Q&As with you. I will see you very soon. Information about our newsletter and the second edition of my signature course, or the waiting list for the second edition, either in the description box below the video or in the comments. See you soon. Believe in yourself and know that you are loved. Mwah.